Rumblefish. This is the time, this is the place, and this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky. And since everything is geeky, when you love it enough, you never know what you're gonna get. This is your host, IMC, and this week we're talking about the newest Doctor on Doctor Who and her companions. After that, stick around for the upcoming events and our question of the week. And I'm on a dare right now, so
no,
don't you dare!
I need to figure out what voice I need to use tonight.
What's a dare, Chris?
What's the dare?
I think they were challenging to see what kind of voices I could use today. I'm going to get stabbed with a pen somewhere along the line. I'm pretty sure of it. Although the producer knows you don't stab the talent.
And a shoe thrown at
and
you.
A shoe
There's a second talent, so she can stab
We can
the first.
do this without you.
Oh, okay, fine. Works for me. I need a day off.
Can you do it without me?
Cashman.
I know. Seriously, can you do it without Billy, though? Cash and Aaron are in the
they can
production
come
booth.
in and help
How you
out.
doing, guys?
They just recorded their podcast down the hall.
Nice. So in the studio with me, as usual, is the legendary Billy DeTore.
Hi.
Not to be confused with the infamous Billy DeTore that they were talking about earlier this week on his
Something
normal
like
show.
that. The
Yeah.
infamous Billy
They
DeTore.
were talking about the infamous
Well,
Billy
they were
DeTore.
discussing how infamous is a wrong term to use when some people decide to use it. They think it's good, but infamous is bad.
Yeah.
So it means I was listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening.
Well, we
Thank
do
you.
listen.
I do listen.
Yes. And that's the
Only
voice
until about
of
7:05.
And that's the voice of the equally legendary Tanya Metris. Hello,
which
Tanya Metris.
I don't know how long this voice is going to last today.
I know you've been a little under the weather lately.
Just a little bit.
That's okay. Well, we're not going to
Water,
push you.
cough drops, the cough button. I got it.
It's all good. She's set. To my right is somebody else that I'm going to talk about in a moment. To my left
I was going to stab
is
you
the
with a
ever
pen.
wonderful Anne. Hi, Anne.
Hi, Chris.
How's Anne Liebeck doing today?
We're good.
We're good? You hanging out with us today?
It is. In this
Got a couple
cold
of
weather
episodes
day.
going on. And then the mighty monk. Miss Alana is here. There she is. But and also to my right is our lovely producer, Sherry, who is going to stab me with a pen somewhere before the end of the evening. I'm pretty sure of it.
I'm watching Cashman in the booth trying to figure out what he's mimicking for us type thing. He's like
They should come in and join us, man.
counting or whatever.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Come on
Doctor
in, folks.
Who.
We're going to talk about Doctor Who, and later on next week we're talking about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So
We might get Aaron.
Yes.
we got it. Aaron, you need to talk about your teenage angst, man.
Go over to Weezus.
Yeah, seriously.
How much time do you have? I can talk all day on that.
Which one, Doctor Who or Buffy?
Or teenage angst.
Yeah. I think even at our ripe old ages, we still manage to get into the teenage
My
angst every so
coworkers,
often.
Aaron Sawicki and Rich Jones, have also joined us right now.
There you
What's
go.
going on, everybody? It's good to be here.
It's a thing. It's good to
Yeah.
see you guys.
Thanks for the invite for a few seconds. I've always wanted to sit in on you guys. You guys are fantastic.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So much.
Hey, since you know how to push the buttons, I may leave.
Except I'm your ride.
Also, can I just
Yeah.
can I just say it feels weird to just be kneeling right here? I don't know what's been here.
Sorry, I saw the chair.
Let me tell you, there's been a couple of occasions where I've sat in that spot, and yeah, you feel this aura of, it's hard to describe.
Power.
Aura of
I
power.
would say channeling legendary talk radio.
That's it. But
powers.
I feel like I should really have like a much deeper, more gravelly voice when I'm sitting there.
Give me a little while. I'll probably have that gravelly voice.
Tanya's been fighting off
Next
something all
week,
weekend.
that'll be Tanya.
All right, so how we doing, gang? Everybody's good? We're all
Yeah,
having a
we're
good
good.
time? Aaron, things are coming along real well for you guys over there?
Things are awesome on the K&B show right now. Yeah, we've got a
Nice.
new producer over there.
Yeah, she
and
seems to be doing a
Chrissy?
pretty good job over there.
Yeah.
Chrissy's having some fun.
Chrissy's great. I've been showing her the ropes, and we're just having a lot of fun.
That's the key.
Yeah, that's really
That's
all I
the
can
key.
say about it.
Did you know this is like, what episode is this for us? It's like 101, 102?
103, I
103?
believe.
So we've done this 103 times now, and we still keep coming back for more.
Why?
So we got to be doing
Glutton
something.
for punishment.
We got to be doing something we're enjoying, I guess. That's a thing.
There it is.
So, all right. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to try on a couple of different voices, and then we're going to be talking about the most recent series of Doctor Who, because that's
Yay.
a thing.
Yes, it is.
And I'm going to vamp until the music starts.
There we go. I had to find it. I'm out of practice.
It's all right. It's all good. We still love you, Billy.
any spoilers. I think we scared them off.
Probably.
I would be afraid. I'm often afraid of us.
My mom asked this morning how she could listen to us.
For those of you who don't know, and honestly, why are you listening to us if you don't? Doctor Who is a BBC science fiction television program that began in 1963. Let that one soak in for a moment. In the show's narrative, the Doctor is a time-traveling humanoid alien from a race known as the Time Lords. To account for the actor's departure from the series, the program introduced a narrative concept of regeneration, a means for a Time Lord to gain a new appearance and a distinct new personality when the Doctor approaches the end of a current incarnation, usually a heroic death and a great death scene, usually a great parting speech, and then boom, you've got your regeneration, which has changed and evolved over the years, and then you've got yourself your brand new face, and a new actor takes the role on. And that's pretty much why the show has survived for 55 years now at this point? That's amazing. 55 years.
I think, is there only one of us that's been around in 63?
I was born in 65.
So none of us.
none of us.
The entire
Predates
panel.
all of us.
Wow.
So
I figured you were close.
Yeah, I'm close, but
the 13th Doctor is the current incarnation of the character and is portrayed by English actress Jodie Whittaker, the first woman to portray the character in the series. Whittaker appeared the first time as the 13th Doctor at the end of the 2017 Christmas special, Twice Upon a Time, and stars as the Doctor in the program's 11th series. All right, so there's a whole write-up here, and I'm going to go through it because I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to do this some justice, and then we're going to jump into talking about what we think of it. The concept of a female Doctor was first mentioned in 1981 when Tom Baker suggested his successor might be female. I remember the direct quote. We were talking about this in the car right over, Sherry. He was saying something to the effect of, well, good luck to whoever he or she is. And people went bonkers with that. That was amazing. So after announcing the end of his tenure as the fourth Doctor, this occurred. Producer John Nathan Turner later discussed the possibility of casting a woman as the sixth Doctor to replace the departing Peter Davison's fifth, claiming it was feasible but not something he was considering at the moment. In October of 1986, during the transmission of Colin Baker's final season as the sixth Doctor, series creator Sidney Newman wrote to BBC controller Michael Grade with a suggestion that at a later stage, Doctor Who should be metamorphosed into a woman. Dawn French, Joanna Lumley, and Frances Delatour were suggested by Newman in 1986 for the role, but were dismissed by the BBC. Lumley later appeared as a satirical version of the 13th Doctor in the 1999 comic relief special The Curse of the Fatal Death. Arabella Weir also played an alternate third Doctor in Doctor Who Unbound, a Big Finish episode named Exile. Neither portrayal is typically considered to be within the show's main continuity. Producer Jane Tranter also considered casting Judi Dench as the ninth Doctor, which that would have been completely and holistically badass. I'm just going to say that right now. That would have been awesome. Helen Mirren was also suggested for the role of the 12th Doctor. Oh my God, both of those women are just amazing, amazing human beings and amazing actresses. So I would have been completely awesome with either of those ideas. The concept of the Time Lords changing sex upon regeneration was seeded throughout Moffat's tenure as showrunner. In the 2011 The Doctor's Wife, the Doctor recalls a Time Lord acquaintance known as the Corsair, who had at least two female incarnations. And when he was a woman, he was bad. Anyway, in the 2013 short The Night of the Doctor, the Sisterhood of Karn offer the dying eighth, played by Paul McCann, control over his inevitable regeneration with, quote-unquote, man or woman, being touted as possibilities among a bunch of others. The first on-screen cross-gender regeneration was shown in the 2015 episode Hell Bent, in which a white male Gallifreyan general, played by Ken Bones, regenerates into a black woman, Tania Miller, who then states that her previous incarnation was the only time she'd ever been a man, and how do they deal with all that ego? That was a great quote. All right, so the most notable Time Lord to have appeared in both male and female forms prior to Whittaker's casting is the Doctor's nemesis, the Master, portrayed from 2014 to 2017 by Scottish actress Michelle Gomez. The character was known as Missy, short for Mistress. The 10th series finale, World Enough in Time, and The Doctor Falls, addresses cross-gender regeneration several times. The Doctor tells his companion Bill Potts, played by Pearl Mackie, that Missy was his first man crush, and adds that he is only fairly sure he himself was male at the time, although the remark may have been flippant to amuse the audience. So now we have Jodie Whittaker, and she is, at this point, 5 episodes into Series 11 as we're talking now? And I have not...
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, no, I have not seen the one that just came out, I don't think.
We're 2 behind.
We're 2 behind?
I've seen them all.
I've seen them all.
I'm trying to remember.
The last one I saw.
The last one I saw, they were trapped on the spaceship,
Yes.
and the guy was pregnant.
Yes. That was the last one I saw.
I'm caught up because there's a new episode tonight. Because we
The
record
night that
on,
we're recording.
Yeah, we record on Sundays. Everybody knows
Yeah.
that by now. We've talked about it often enough. So
So is that the 4th episode?
it's the 5th.
Is it the?
That's the sixth.
Well, 6th. Yeah, thank you, Ann.
I'm
it is.
lost.
There was.
I've seen them all, but I just
There was her first. A Woman Fell to Earth, and then there was
the continuation.
Then there was the continuation of that, which they were in that race.
Yes, that where they
in the desert.
found the prize,
Right, where they find the prize, which was the TARDIS.
and then
Then there was Rosa.
then
Rosa
there
Parks
was the
episode.
spiders.
That's as far
And
as
the
we've
spider
seen.
episode.
Have not seen that yet.
And then there's the episode where on the runaway spaceship.
So tonight's the 6th.
Tonight's the 6th.
Okay.
Where they dip into one of the companions' past.
Yes.
Ish.
Yeah. Yes.
Sort
Right.
of, because they interact with her grandmother when her grandmother was still pretty young. Anyway, I just know that from the trailer, so that's not spoiler.
Yeah, that was on Twitter.
Yeah. So, all right. So, as I've mentioned on several occasions, and I've gone on record in both ends of the spectrum here, in my Doctor Who panels, when asked, should the next Doctor be a woman, I've always been very cautious about that. As a matter of fact, I was outright kind of against it at the beginning because I was worried that it would be a gimmick. I would worry that there was basically just be the producers of the show bowing to pressure, and it wouldn't be done right. That they would find the wrong actress, or they would do it the wrong way. And I am happy to be wrong. I will say that right now. I have been any fears that I may have had were allayed pretty much within, I'd say, the first 20 minutes of her very first episode, because they have not made it a thing. Thank God they have not made it a thing. They just it's a part of life and moving on, and because at one point, early in her first episode, somebody says, "Madam," and the Doctor looks back. Why are you calling me Madam? Because you're a woman? Really? Does it suit me? Okay. And then off and running. Nothing else. And then later on, when she finds her iconic outfit, right? That all doctors have that one kind of theme to their dress, and I don't know. It's been a long time since I bought women's clothing, and those were the only 2 comments about the Doctor being a woman. And that's, I think, well, they've probably made some other allusions, and then because naturally people are going to be talking to, well, it's her, it's she. Does she, so there's a natural kind of evolution to it. But I have not seen it as been a focus of conversation. Who wants to argue with me on that?
I did happen to find.
I heard some grumping.
No, I did happen to find an interview that Jodie actually was in on the costuming decision for her costume.
Most of the actors do.
That she wanted something with pockets.
Yeah.
All women want pockets.
And she's got a fanny pack. Has anybody noticed that? She's been using her fanny pack.
So what were you going to say, Monk?
I was gonna say in the Rosa Parks episode, she got called ma'am, and she was like, "Right, I still have to get used to that."
Yeah. So little comments like that, but it's not. You're not getting any, for lack of a better way to describe it, you're not getting any stereotypical female reference. Oh, well, they're not doing any trope type commentary about it. They're not she's not going, "Oh my God," she's not grabbing her chest and going, "These are getting in the way. What the hell?" There's nothing outrageously. It's just all right, you're a woman, matter of course, on your way. Which I think is the best way to handle it.
But I have to say that I do like that they're not ignoring the fact that that's going to change how she interacts with history.
Mm-hmm.
When they go back, even in the Rosa Parks, she had to remember that, okay, I'm not a white man looking person. I'm a woman. Mm-hmm. And I like that they really, really did that very strongly with the 2 people of color companions.
Yes.
That they were, okay, this is not the same way I've dealt with history in the past. Mm-hmm. And I really liked it because that's going to open up new storylines, which I really love.
I do. I think that's going to be great, and I think they're opening them up organically, and if they're not forcing it. And later in the conversation, I do want to talk about the absolute astounding negativity that has been rolling around online over this, because I don't get what people's problems are. I mean, it's amazing. Like the crux of it, every comment I've heard that's negative or read online is the writing is absolutely atrocious. The writing is garbage. The writing is horrible. I'm like,
are we watching the same show?
Yeah.
Are we? Yeah, seriously, are we watching the same show at the moment?
I disagree, but I think that it's been uneven, to be honest with you.
But a first series
But not
of
bad.
a new Doctor,
I've enjoyed it. There's just some episodes I've enjoyed more than others, but I haven't gone away going, I'm never going to watch this again. I'm outraged at what they've done. No, it's been fine. It's been good. It's been excellent. It's been okay.
Yeah. The first series of every Doctor is always, in my opinion, shaky, because you're trying to write for a new character. You're trying to figure out, get their legs under them. Russell T Davies had it easy because nobody had expectations about Doctor Who when Christopher Eccleston jumped back on in 2005.
See, I see it as being just the opposite. He had a lot riding on it. If people
you want the
buy
success
it,
of the show, but there's not a lot of preconceived notions from a new audience, though.
True.
You have what you're dealing with right now is you've cultivated a brand new audience in the modern internet age where everybody has a damn opinion, whether you like it or not, right? So you have the preconceived notions of everybody who watched the show in the past, and you're trying to impress them. So if you do a decent enough job, you will, but then you have to tailor that for a whole slew of other people. And then he was already in his stride when David Tennant took over. He wrote for David Tennant. So that's why David Tennant's first season, in my opinion, is probably the strongest of all the new guys, because he'd already had his writing stride. He knew what his rhythm was going to be. He just had to tailor it to go from Chris to Dave.
Yeah.
Now, when David leaves and you get Matt Smith, Stephen Moffat's taking over, so now the first couple of episodes of Matt Smith's tenure as the Doctor are a little weird at times because you have a new showrunner and a new Doctor, and they're trying to figure each other out.
Yeah. As much as I love the second episode of Matt Smith's Doctor,
is that the Victory of the Daleks?
No, it was the Beast
Space
Below.
Whale, huh?
Beast Below.
Yeah, Space Whale.
As much as I loved that episode, I thought it was a fantastic episode and had dealt with a lot of things. That portrayal, Matt's portrayal of the Doctor, is so vastly different than anything else you see from him at any other point that it was such an anomaly that going back and watching it, it feels weird.
It feels almost a little bit like he's channeling his inner 10.
Actually, yeah.
Like the episode was written for David, but but Matt's the one kind
during the time when I started really having issues with 10.
10's departure or 10?
Just when he got so angry and arrogant, I really had an issue.
Yeah, the final episodes of David Tennant were not my favorites.
No, they're great and they're powerful and they're emotional, and I wish they didn't happen.
Yeah. But, so anyway, the point comes all the way full circle to the fact that we have a first season with a new showrunner, in essence, a new production crew. You have a new Doctor. You have a new attitude for everything. So, they're trying to find their feet, and I think they're starting to. I'm starting to see the 13th kind of coalesce a little bit more into her own personality. My humble opinion is that the fact that Jodie Whittaker and David Tennant are such good friends because they've worked on a couple of different shows before, and they are good friends. They chat all the time. I honestly think that Jodie is channeling her inner David Tennant a little bit too much. I see a lot of 10 in 13, which not a bad thing because 10's a very popular character, but I'm seeing a lot of 10's delivery and 10's mannerisms in 13 at the moment.
But I see a lot of 11's manic energy.
Yep.
Yes, I do see that.
I'm reading something on Radio Times, and it was put out about 5 hours ago. It says the Doctor Who half-term report. How is Jodie Whittaker's first series doing so far? That's the whole thing.
Okay.
And so there's been a lot of different people putting. Jonathan Hughes states Jodie Whittaker is the Doctor. She inhabits the role more naturally than Peter Capaldi did at the start, perhaps because she's channeling the excited puppy mannerisms of Tennant and Smith.
See, there we go.
Yeah.
So it just kind of confirms what we were just talking about. I love it when the professionals agree with me. Yes, Alana, go.
I think one of my favorite things was when her first episode.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see a mixture of Capaldi's and Tennant's. What they were like after they regenerated.
Yeah, it was almost like she was bounding back and forth between 9 and 12. I didn't see many of the classics in her. You know, you could probably say that 10 and 11 are kind of like evolutions of 7 and a bit of 2.
Well, those were her quote-unquote most recent regenerations, so that would be like the memories that she has right to the surface.
So, I mean, I did see a lot of her channel. I even saw her channeling 9 on a couple of occasions when she got a little stern with people.
Yes.
You know, people can say, well, that was 12, but no, 9 was ridiculously on people's ass if you were in his crosshairs.
And I did like something that she did that I don't remember any 10, 11, or 12 doing. It was her commenting, I mean, except other than the teeth, when he's like, new teeth, I got to get used to that. Her talking about, well, my arms used to be longer, and her like trying to get used to this whole new body. And maybe it's because, like with 11, he really didn't have time. He was dealing with crisis immediately. And 12 didn't know who he was.
Right.
But she had a little bit of disorientation, but I think that was more from being thrown out of the TARDIS. And Lana has a theory that was stop regenerating in me.
You keep breaking my
the TARDIS is a little pissed off that the regenerations keep happening in the console room.
So
can we cut the crap on that one, please? We had enough of that. That hurt.
Yeah, but I liked those references where, I used to be, my arm, I loved that. My arms used to be longer, or referring to the white-haired Scottish gentleman.
Yes, half an hour ago I was a white-haired Scotsman.
Yeah. So I liked that, and that was, and the only one I remember doing that was Tennant.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is a brief moment in the 11th hour in Matt Smith's first when he meets Jeff in Jeff's apartment the first time, and he's like, he goes on tiptoes and bounces up and down a little bit because he sees Jeff is very tall, so he's trying to measure himself based against, on a visual cue. So I do see that kind of a brief, but that's like the only time that 11 kind of really.
I never saw that as him trying to be. I was taller when I was 10. But
you can also the whole kitchen scene with Catherine Sutherland there. Not Kathleen Sutherland. Caitlin Blackwood. I switched my FC3 guests there for a second there.
Just a second.
But with Caitlin Blackwood, that whole scene in the kitchen where he's going through different foods.
To figure out his taste buds.
He's trying to figure out his taste buds. That, you could probably say, kind of fits in with that, and
true. Very true.
I wish they did more with the kidney line. 12's for kidneys. I've got new kidneys. I don't like the color. I wish there was some sort of a throwback to that. That would have been fun, I think. But
she asked if she's a ginger yet.
No, she hasn't talked about being a ginger yet. She just has gone right about her business. And her hair has fallen in her face, so there's been plenty of opportunity to see not a ginger.
Yeah, very obviously not a ginger, considering how light her hair is.
Yes. Not the first blonde doctor, mind you.
No.
That's. Go ahead,
maybe that color of blonde, if she's not the first.
No,
Davison and Colin Baker
were both light blondes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or pale blondes.
Yeah. Fair-haired.
Yep.
Okay. But I like that she went through comatose and I don't quite remember who I am at the same time.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, like I said at the top of the conversation, I'm happy to be wrong at this point. I am enjoying Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. I'm really thinking she's doing a good job. She has not given me that quintessential moment. She's not a favorite yet. Like Peter Capaldi had that speech in the Zygon inversion. About war and what he saw in war and the way that, he reacted to the Time War and how it changed him forever as an individual, how he will carry that memory for his entire lifespan, no matter what his face is. That the way he delivered that speech, the pain in that, the emotion in it, it sold it. And then there was a series of events after that. I'm like, Capaldi is now my all-time favorite Doctor. And that beats out, I will say it, that beats out Tom Baker, which is Very challenging for a guy who's watched the show since he was 8 years old to say. So Jodie hasn't had that moment yet.
I don't remember the name of the episode, but the Peter Capaldi one that really made me adore him was the one where they visited him as a child.
Oh, yeah.
That episode.
Yeah.
And the one in the castle.
Fear's a superpower one.
And the castle one.
The castle with Robin Hood?
No, the one after he lost his companion. And he's alone in the castle.
Oh, right.
That's an incredible
Heaven
episode.
Sent.
Yes, that was an incredible episode.
Yeah, it was just him.
Yeah.
And that ghostly figure in the background that was pushing him forward all the time.
That was oh my God. I think that's one of the best episodes of Doctor Who ever.
That is a top one. That ranked right up there with Blink, in my opinion. I agree with you. And then he goes to war in Hellbent, where he looks Rassilon in the eye and kicks him off the planet. I think that was fantastic. I'm like, oh my God, here's this mythical figure, and you're just going to go ahead and treat him like a punk in the playground. But yeah, no, Jodie has not had that moment for me yet. But, it's still early. Why does she have to have it in the first series she's on board? Why can't she have it, have that tour de force moment in her second or her third? Her ratings are good. She's going to be popular. She's going to be solid. There's a lot of naysayers who are already jumping ship. But you know what I've learned about the internet? Most of it sucks. Everybody's so empowered to have these opinions, and they're bolstered by anonymity. So they're going to go ahead and say whatever they think is right because they're obviously right and nobody else is. And then look at that, we've got an orange Cheeto as a freaking president because of it. But anyway, bless you. You okay over there?
Yep.
Hanging in there.
Uh-huh.
So you just can't look at the popular opinion because on Facebook and on Twitter and on forums and all that stuff, people are like, oh, they're savaging her. She's terrible. The writing is horrible. This is terrible. But you know what? The ratings are good. There's people watching it. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather look at that,
There's a lot of young people who were not watching it before that are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Did you see the person who challenged Neil Gaiman?
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Neil
I did see
Gaiman
that.
said that
Before you get into that, Billy, you wanted to say something.
My wife has been a fan since we started watching the Eccleston.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, I said, hey, I'm hearing good things about Doctor Who. So we watched Eccleston and Tennant and Matt Smith. And she is so in love with Jodie Whittaker as a doctor just because she feels represented as a woman.
And I trust Susan's opinion, so we're in good shape there.
So do you think more women are watching it because of a woman doctor?
I don't know. You know what? I don't think more women. I don't think more women are watching it. What I think is more young girls are going to start watching it now, because that's going to give them that moment of like, hey, like boys can see themselves as the doctor, but now girls can too. Mm-hmm. And
how dare they?
I think that's a fantastic thing. Let the girls be the Time Lord too. There was a try at reaching out to all ages and genders back in the 80s during Tom Baker's the end of his run when they brought in Romana, an equal, a time lady, and she regenerated with him, and she changed faces, and she was in there solving problems and being more than just the screaming, damsel in distress. She was in the mix and working right along with them and solving problems. And so back in the 80s, there was Doctor Who's attempt to say everybody can be on board in this adventure. And then of course, Michael Grade got his hands on BBC drama and did whatever he could to try and kill the show off and succeeded. But anyway, here we are now in the 21st century.
Yeah. On October 8th, Neil Gaiman tweeted, "I just watched The Woman Who Fell to Earth. That was definitely the Doctor. Not that I had any real doubts, but it's wonderful to see how much of the Doctor she is." And somebody responded, so you're a new fan because the Doctor is a woman and not a real fan of the show since the 60s then.
And Neil shut the guy down.
And his response was, "My first episodes of Doctor Who were the first William Hartnell Dalek story. You can read about it in my introduction to the first Doctor Who novelization."
I mean, come on. Who is going to take on Neil Gaiman, for God's sake? What the hell is that all about? That's like walking up to Stephen Hawking and say, "Oh, you obviously don't know enough about particle physics." It's like, what?
He's written novelizations. He wrote probably one of the best episodes of New Who.
The Doctor's Wife.
It was an incredible
he wrote it.
episode.
I mean, he's just an amazing writer to begin with.
Yep.
And a diehard fan, you can know that by talking to him at any given moment in time. He's talked about the show on several occasions over decades. But yeah, no, you're a new fan because the doctors well, shut the hell up. You're an idiot. Who was the person who wrote that? What's the person's name who wrote that?
Brendan Toogood is his.
Brendan Toogood. If by any chance you ever start listening to this, I want you to know that I personally think you're a moron.
Damn.
I'm just going to throw that out there right now.
Burn.
Seriously. That is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I've seen some stupidity. I work for the city. Anyway.
And Neil Gaiman wants to write for Jodie.
I think he should. I think BBC
He
would be
writes women
stupid.
well.
He writes everybody well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he created Idris for the Doctor's Wife, and that was a fantastic character to watch in action. It was so much fun.
I like biting. It's like kissing, except with a winner.
Yes. Best quote ever.
Neil Gaiman says, Doctor Who's the one call that I will always take, he said. It's like a drug. It doesn't go out of your system.
You're right.
So he goes, even if they'd already had things written and filming is wrapped, he's like, he's still ready to answer the phone. He's like, I'll definitely answer that one.
You need one for 3 seasons down the road, I'm in. You know, it's like, hey, come on, it's a show about time travel. You want me to write an episode for season 5? I can do that too.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know?
Oh, man.
So, go ahead.
Question for everyone.
Yes, Monk.
Through the ones that my mom and I have seen, which we ended at the Rosa Parks one, most heart-wrenching moment so far.
So far, because there's been several.
So far.
in the Jodie Whittaker era only.
Yes.
Okay, the most heart-wrenching moment for me is when you realize the woman who fell to Earth is not referring to the Doctor, but you're referring to Ryan's Nan.
Yeah.
When you put that little 2 plus 2
I wanted her to be a companion.
Oh, I know.
She would have been amazing.
Which is exactly what you're supposed to be thinking.
Yes, I
She
know.
is the impetus to get Ryan and Graham to go out and see what's going on out there.
The Rosa Parks episode for me was Graham. He didn't want to be on that bus.
No, he didn't want to be a part of that moment
it
in
was
history.
it felt like such a betrayal of his wife
Yes.
to be there at that
To
time.
be there preventing anybody from
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Man,
I
that
could
was-
see
that
the
was
pain in
rough.
his eyes.
That was rough.
That was a rough moment. Yeah.
For me, so far, that has been the most heart-wrenching.
Well, and that's the thing is Doctor Who is very good at pulling absolutely no punches whatsoever. It doesn't matter how many companions survived when they shouldn't have over the years. There's always going to be that moment that drives the knife right into the old chest there, and it's like, oh, okay, that happened.
See, I'm a sucker for the perfect musical cue and that Andrew Day song "Rise Up" at the end of the
Yeah.
Rosa Park episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's okay. You got to close it. There you go.
that's it. That's it.
Yep.
When the music can become the extra character, like Aaron Sorkin was great with West Wing. The music, the background, the soundtrack was always like just an additional member of the staff. You know, that was always a thing, and I think with the departure of Murray Gold as the music coordinator for Doctor Who and getting in new showrunner, new thing, I think you're starting to see that already. You're starting to see that willingness to reach out and find something to fit the moment.
Yeah. We're going to be circling back to that idea next week when we
Okay.
talk about Buffy, because the music is such an important
Oh yeah,
part of
because it's
Buffy.
part of the evolution of that whole era. It's like
not
basically
just the
encapsulation
bands,
of the 1990s.
Not just the bands, but Christopher, I'm totally blanking on his last name. His scores were incredible.
All right. So anything else we want to talk about right now? I mean, we all seem to be very positive, and you haven't really entered 2 cents into this conversation yet.
I'm seeing a family dynamic change.
Okay.
Where Doctor Who used to be what Dad watched in the corner is now the whole family's gathering.
Yes.
And that is very refreshing to see from a sci-fi show, bringing in more family and kids.
Awesome.
That's
a great observation.
Before the first episode, they had a little pre-watch for like a. Did any of you watch that pre-game thing?
A little
with the
bit.
countdown?
A little bit.
No.
I was
little.
just curious your thoughts. It seemed too. I wanted to
ham-fisted.
enjoy it, and
It seemed a
way
bit too
forced,
ham-fisted.
Yeah.
It was too. We want you. You're gonna like it. You're gonna like. This is gonna be awesome. This is gonna be great. Instead of touting what it represented, it was.
I'm not sure what I expected, but it wasn't that.
I will tell you this. I'm very disappointed with BBC America because the channel itself does not get it. The episodes are mean, it's like there's a commercial every minute and a half.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I DVR it and it will like seem to be coming back and then cut back out and then go on to something. I'm like,
yeah, you get like a 15-second teaser
of what's coming.
Something, right? And I'm like, wait, and then another commercial.
Yeah,
I'm
they
like,
do that every
son of a-
episode. They also they kill episodes too, because I was watching the marathon leading up to Jodie's first, and I've seen these episodes on DVD. I've seen these episodes first run, and there are a lot of pieces and parts missing.
Well, you got to have room for all those commercials.
You got to have a room for all the commercials.
Susan
exactly.
has the feeling that there's parts of these new episodes missing.
Oh, I agree.
If you watch it on demand and not DVR it, they take all the commercials out, and it is a full 50 minutes. So if you watch it on demand, you get more than if you watch it or DVR.
I don't have demand.
If you do it through, because if you want to pay for it, if you do it through Amazon, it's the same way.
Well, it's just encouraging me to be a Billy Tutorian. I'm going to start getting all the seasons on DVD. That's because the completest of me is just like saying, wait, if I'm going to my only exposure to Doctor Who now is going to be through BBC America. Bag that.
Yeah. Well, I really like that through Amazon. I paid for the season, and as the shows come out, they drop into your
little
own
bin there.
stuff, and I can watch it that way, and I don't have to deal with commercials.
Nice.
I noticed it when I was watching the Rosa Parks episode. I was watching it on TV, and I'm like, I can't sit through all these commercials.
No, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And
it's terrible.
2 days later, my husband and I were watching it on demand, and there were parts that I'd missed that was in the on demand.
Yeah. So, we can't leave until we talk about two things.
Okay.
One, the new sonic screwdriver.
That she made herself.
Yep. And two, the companions. We haven't really touched much on them. We've talked about them a little bit, but...
Well, the screwdriver we can have a conversation about running all along. That's fine. But yeah, the companion dynamic is a lot different, isn't it now?
Do you feel there's too many of them?
No.
There have been several occasions, and I don't understand what people have said over the years, but in New Who, you haven't had that many before. However, in Old Who, that has happened on a couple of occasions where the Doctor's had up to 2 or 3 people in it all the time.
And I remember, Amy and Rory and Captain Jack all at the same time. And I don't have a problem with the number. I was just wondering if...
I don't think it's a problem.
Because
personally.
I like Ryan and Yaz and Graham. I do like them as characters. And
I'm watching the dynamic between Ryan and Graham.
I'm waiting for them to just bond like crazy.
Yeah.
At some point, Ryan's riding a bike.
Yeah.
They're gonna hug. It's,
It's an adventuring party.
It's exactly it is. It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. And going back to the original episodes, the very first series had 3 companions.
Yep. Susan, Barbara, and Ian for good 2.5 years before Susan departed first. I think Nora was Barbara and Ian.
I think Barbara and Ian.
Barbara and Ian departed first, and then Susan.
I haven't watched all of
Yeah.
Old, but
Well, the 5th, Peter Davison, had Tegan, Nyssa, and Adric for quite some time. The 4th had picked him up, so they were all together, and so there are several occasions where the Doctor had multiple companions. I don't think that's the problem. I think people are just having a hard time adjusting, which is weird because this fandom should be used to things being not normal. That it's not going to stay a certain dynamic for long. It's going to change. People are going to come. People are going to go. Faces are going to change. The storyline's going to change. So,
I think they're looking at this because with several companions, there's been, even if nothing was done with it, there was some romantic undertones going
which is
on.
new only to New Who, really.
The Aztecs.
Well,
the Doctor was engaged.
Yeah, but he was also not thoroughly in on the plan. He
had a date.
Yeah.
Did he marry like one of the queens of England?
10 is married to. 10 married Queen Elizabeth I. It was implied that 4 actually flirted with. I can't remember the queen. It was like Mary Queen of Scots. And there was also a couple of implications that 7 had a few dalliances with. I can't remember. Now. It's just there's the thoughts are not in my head at the moment.
And 11 married River Song.
Yes. Who was a queen in her own right, I suppose.
Possibly someone else. He wasn't quite sure.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yes, he wasn't quite sure. But I mean, okay, so you've got the Ninth Doctor. There was a little bit of, not as much, but when you hit 10 and Rose,
10 and Rose is,
Then Martha's ginormous crush,
On
which
10.
I think was just, it kind of ruined her character arc for me. To the point where there are people today that still argue that Donna was in love with 10. And I'm like, what?
No.
Not
a chance.
No.
Not a chance.
Dean Paul.
Donna loved 10 as her her best
sibling.
friend.
Yep.
He was the younger sibling that she had to kind of guide in the right direction. That's the way she treated him. Like, you're an idiot. No, here, come do this thing now. You have to do this thing now.
Yep.
There was a little bit implied in this season, episode 4, when Yaz's mom asked Yaz if, are you two dating? And the doctor looks at her and says, are we? And she's like, no. It was very funny.
Yes, that was cute. But I don't think that was actually meant to be a thread of romance. It was meant to be kind of a toss away, kind of that's cute.
Well, yeah. Because then her mom also asked Yaz if she was dating Ryan.
Yeah.
So I think the mom dynamic.
Yes. Yeah, mom's just
are you
making
with
sure.
them because you're dating somebody here? I'll
Are you
understand
seeing
it
anybody?
better.
I think they were establishing that they're all friends. That
Right.
there is no romance in that.
Right.
They're all just friends.
Graham really wants to be that grandfather figure to Ryan. Ryan's not having anything to do with it yet, but I think the two of them are
He's softening.
Ryan's softening. You're
But it's
seeing
going to take a little
It's going to take
while.
a few more episodes, I think. But that fist bump is coming.
Yeah. Well, I think that Graham being so quick to call him his grandson in the Rosa Parks episode,
Yes.
I think really went a long way, because that could have been very dangerous for Graham.
Yes, but Graham didn't care. That he was
Right.
putting
Nope.
his foot down, saying, "No, that's my grandson. Leave him alone."
Yep.
And Ryan got up some appreciation over the fact that Graham was so willing to just step
Acknowledge
up
that.
and say that. My prediction is Graham's departure may not be Ryan's departure. They may leave together or they may leave separately. But on Graham's departure, you're going to see Ryan call him Granddad. That's my prediction. It's going to be the full circle of the story. It's going to tie it in a bow.
Well, it seems that there's more references to families and siblings and things that are coming up, because they've mentioned that the doctor had siblings.
Siblings,
was
yeah.
the first time that they mentioned it in this
And
season.
No, that's the first. I'm going to be honest. As a longtime fan, there may have been something in an episode that I've missed, but I've seen just about everything out there, and
Right.
that's the first time the doctor's ever talked about actually having siblings.
Right. It says, what I'm watching here, it says we got this covered.com. It says, now that we know that the doctor had parents, children, grandchildren, but this is the first time that siblings have been mentioned.
Yes.
Perhaps key to that phrase that she used to have sisters, either implying that they're now long dead or perhaps they themselves regenerated into men. This hint is at an unseen past family of the doctor might also have been slyly referenced in The Woman Who Fell to Earth, when the doctor spoke about how her family may be dead to the world, but they're not dead to me.
Right.
So it's like they don't know which way they're going to go, but a little hint at the end, it says, after all, we still need to find out who or what the timeless child is.
Yeah, I got to
my
tell.
mommy?
I'm going to call complete bullshit on Chris Chibnall, because he for the entire time is no, there will be no overlying there are going to be no overlying arcs. There's going to be no continuing, and then he breaks out the timeless child, lying sack, you lying sack, you little mother. I'm going to mother hugger that bastard right there for that one. So yeah, you see it coming, and now I'm keen. I'm in. I'm interested to see where this is going to go.
Are you my mummy?
Are you my mummy? I don't think that's.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
That's a great
freaked
episode,
me
yeah.
out. It totally freaked me out.
And my favorite was I'm so happy that there's finally some callbacks and New Who has done what Old Who did not do. I mean, Classic had the monsters, the reoccurring monsters, the relationship with the Master. Okay, all those things were always kind of like continuity, but 4 did not make references to 2. 3 did not make references to 1. 6 did not make references to 4 or 5. It was one of those things that just, I'm like, you have all of this stuff that you could have made inside jokes with, and you missed it.
In addition to the 13th Doctor referencing the 12th Doctor as the white-haired Scotsman and
Right.
my arms used to be longer, she references the 4th Doctor when she nearly falls from a crane when she sees a woman wearing a multicolored scarf.
Yes.
And And then there's also the regeneration energy, like with 10th. Then the post-regeneration amnesia was first by the 7th and most profoundly experienced by the 8th.
Yes.
So I do like that, too.
Yeah.
You know me in continuity.
It's New who was not afraid to make references to everything. Like, the reason I brought this whole tangent up was the fact that you had Are You My Mummy in the 9th, and then in the Sontaran stratagem, the 10 somehow gets his hands on a gas mask. He looks at the general and goes, "Are you my mummy?" And there was just that one throwaway line. It's like, oh my God, that's awesome. So,
Yep.
So make those references, make them constant, because you have this over 2,000-year-old character that has seen a lot of stuff. He's seen some stuff. I'm going to keep calling him he just because it's easier that way.
Yeah. Oh, and one of my favorite things about 12's characterization is the 2 photographs on his desk in his office.
Yeah, River and Susan.
And Susan, the 2 most important women in his life.
Yep. And I love how I told them both to shut up. You shut up, and you too. So, I think that's just the way to look at it is that the show is always going to be evolving. Sometimes it may step in a direction you're not comfortable with, but stick with it because it will always come through.
Any rumors that we've heard that we...
I haven't heard a single rumor at the moment. Now, here's the thing. Chibnall said on several occasions, no classic monsters, everything is new, no overreaching, character arcs, no story, no B plots they're going to hover all the way through. We've already, like we talked about a moment ago, the B plot thing has been thrown out the window. He's lied because the Timeless Child thing is now something we're all going to be watching. So does that mean that the no classic monsters rule has also been a lie?
I heard a rumor.
Tell me a rumor.
That they were going to bring back Jenny.
Oh, I'd love to hear that. That would be great. What? Now, hang on a second. Other than sounding like a dying seal, was that a cheer of delight or a oh my God, no?
That's a
It's a happy sound.
Is that a happy sound?
Yes, she loves Jenny.
Okay.
She loves Georgia Moffat.
They've been talking about bringing Jenny back on and off for about 4 years now. And I do believe she's actually had her own Big Finish audio at this point. So, yeah, there's a character that is ripe for usage, and I think it would be funny to have Jenny show up and keep calling the doctor Dad.
That would be awesome.
That'd be hilarious. I think that would be funny, if not maybe a smidge on the gimmicky side. But
I don't care.
It
exactly. Amuses me.
Dad, I need to talk to you about something, and then there's Jodie turning her head. There would be an interesting dynamic there, and so I would like to see that. I would have liked to have seen them to do more with Jenny right from the get-go.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen her take off with 10 instead of, have that whole death scene there. But that's another story.
It was a good death scene, though.
It was. Yeah. It was. Not enough blood. Where the hell did she get shot? I'm going to say. I'm too American in that commentary. I know. I'm sorry.
What do you think of the new TARDIS?
I haven't seen enough of it to really get a vibe off of it yet.
Yeah.
It's got like this organic crystalline steampunk thing going on, which is kind of nice.
Which goes along with her screwdriver.
Yeah.
A little bit of hive technology, a little bit there.
Little hive, little honeycomb action there.
It's so different. I'm having trouble wrapping my mind around it.
Yeah. I had seen a picture that's completely different. Somebody leaked, quote unquote, a what they thought was the console room for the new series, and it was very throwback to the original First Doctors, which I thought would be cool. And then when I didn't see it, and I see this organic crystalline thing, I'm like, oh, they're kind of trying to channel 9 and 10s a little bit. But my favorite console room of the entire history of the show was 12s.
I really liked 11s.
Well, 12 is only just it's 11 with extra bookcases, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I think that's that added touch that made 12's better than 11's version of it.
I just love that they refer to it as desktop.
Yes.
You change the
desktop. And then I thought it was cute, the doctor will inevitably show up and go, oh, you've redecorated. I don't like it. Well, this time, oh, you've redecorated. I like it a lot. So I thought that was kind of nice. That was
I also
cool.
thought it was interesting that I think this might be the first time it wasn't the doctor choosing it, but the TARDIS chose it, and this is what the TARDIS chose something so different.
Matt Smith's. His original console room, the TARDIS came up with it on its own.
Did it? I don't remember that.
Because I remember him at the beginning, at the end of his first episode. He opens up the door and he's looking. He's like, "Oh, look at you! Oh, you sexy thing!" He was marveling over it.
I never saw that as. I just thought as, "Oh my God, I'm back and you're here." I never saw that as, this is the first time I'm seeing this.
Yeah, no, he did not have anything to do with that one. So
I think it's great. Some of the theories are that because of her. Well, the previous Doctor, the TARDIS is throwing a fit and redecorating how she wants to be.
Yes.
I'm not listening to you anymore.
Right.
You keep screwing me up.
You keep regenerating in the console room and blowing everything to hell, so the hell with you, I'm out of here. I'm doing whatever I want to do at this point.
Think the 13th Doctor will still call the TARDIS sexy?
It's possible.
Oh, yes.
It's possible.
Yes.
You notice a color change? Like I've noticed the TARDIS outside is slightly more green than
Yes.
it is blue.
Yes.
It's a darker blue,
Yeah.
and it's a throwback to the originals because the TARDIS was an entirely different color scheme over the years. The exteriors changed as much as the interiors changed over the years, and I see the current exterior blue very similar to Pertwee's and Tom Baker's TARDIS. Than Matt's always threw me off because it was always too clean. It was like perfectly painted and bigger. Like his exterior was structurally bigger than anybody else's TARDIS before him. So it was like, wait, what's this all about? It's almost like
Wasn't there like an episode where they do comment that the exterior got bigger?
Yeah, and I think it was actually
I think it was
in
Peter Capaldi episode.
it was in the final Peter Capaldi when he meets up with when 12 meets 1.
Yeah.
And they're going through their adventure together. They're both on the verge of regenerating together. And I thought that was a great twist, by the way. That was very cool. And then you see 1's TARDIS next to 12's, and you see the dramatic difference in the structure of them.
See, I always saw 11th being a bit bigger as kind of a
The young man in his sports car, the midlife crisis?
No. It was kind of foreshadowing for what was going to happen with the TARDIS on Trenzalore.
Oh, okay.
It was because from the very first episode, we're seeing the crack, and we're seeing things getting weird.
Right.
And
No, I see what you're saying.
I saw that as kind of like this is our first hint of Trenzalore.
Gotcha. I didn't pick up on that. Good stuff. I did not think of that. That's awesome.
Well, Deanna had asked me what was the whole thing about the cookie.
Oh, yeah, she had asked me about it, but I hadn't seen it yet.
Now, because I just looked at it, because that's like
the cookie dispenser.
The cookie dispenser. And it says the new Doctor Who TARDIS has a custard cream dispenser. And I just looked it up because it says the custard cream dispenser became an instant hit with Doctor Who fans who always seem to love when the series blends sci-fi and British culture in the weirdest of ways. Mm-hmm. Custard cream biscuits or whatever, cookies, are Jodie Whittaker's favorite. So the designer of the console room for the TARDIS put a cookie dispenser built into the TARDIS.
The console.
So all she has to do is push a pedal with her foot.
Hit a pedal and she gets a cookie.
And she gets a cookie.
Now, they have not made any further references to it since the first time you see it.
But that's what. So
I think a lot of Deanna's question
to me.
She asked me about it, and I'm like, I hadn't seen the episode yet, so I really wasn't sure what she was referring to. And then I read all of the. I went to the forums.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. The big reaction is the fact that people think it's that one step too whimsical, right? And it's silly. Which, thank you, Sherry. My reaction was the same as yours. It's like, what? Really?
Oh
I love it. It's like
step?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's no different than Robert Downey Jr. planting snacks
all over
the Avengers set.
Yeah, they were finding snacks all over the helicarrier set.
Yeah, so it's no different than that.
It's. I think what you're finding here are people. This is what I'm making an assumption at this point. You have the bulk of fans of the new series that have been fans on board since 2005. The bulk of the people who have been having such a grudge against the show never got over David Tennant's departure. Every episode needs to have David Tennant with Russell T Davies writing it, or else it's going to suck. Nothing will ever match David Tennant. And I'm not going to throw shade at David Tennant because I loved him. I'm throwing shade at all the morons out there who don't get the show. They don't understand that it's about evolution. It's about change. It's about looking at things from a different angle. It's maybe you might see the Daleks every year for 12 years straight, but you're going to see him differently because you're going to see it from a different doctor. You're going to see it from a different angle, but then after a while they get old. And guess what? The Daleks disappeared for 6 years in Classic Who. So people bitching and pissing and moaning about the fact that there's no Daleks this season are in the wrong. Brendan Toogood, you're still a moron. Anyway.
And I'm sorry, some of the worst episodes of New Who have been during Ten's tenure.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the worst.
And, well, you know what? There's been 1 or 2 in 11 and a couple in 12 that I didn't like either. But you know what? That doesn't mean that the show sucks.
No.
It just means once in a while they're going to try something and it doesn't quite work. Love and Monsters.
Oh, my God.
Was horrible.
What's the one with the little girl and the drawing and...
Oh, Fear Her.
Fear Her.
I liked that episode. I know you do. We've talked about it before. I didn't find it as offensive as you did, but I didn't find it one of the best. It was
and
one of those...
anything with the Slovene.
That's true. Yeah, the Slovene are not exactly, the farting aliens. That's just, come on. It's like, wait, what? Anyway, although Boomtown was good because it wasn't as Slovene. It was still, she was still there, but it was different. Anyway, but yeah, there was a whole bunch of Sarah Jane adventures that dealt with the Slovene, and I was like, maybe not.
No, that's not.
But, you're going to have series where you're going to have an episode that doesn't quite work. But if you write off the whole series, the whole TV show, because it's not what you think it should be, might be the wrong way to look at it. Then you might not be in the right fandom. Maybe. I'm thinking. Am I being too harsh?
And literally, if you don't like something, stop watching it.
Yeah, seriously.
You don't have to
it's
make
not
a
law.
Yeah.
It's not a law. You have to watch it then. Stop watching it. I've given up on shows that I've decided weren't for me anymore.
Mm-hmm. I hung in there. You know what? I hung in there. I was a Boston Red Sox fan from 1983 on. There were some lean years, okay? I took some shit for that. And I hung in there for all of the Sixth Doctor. And there's a lot of Sixth Doctor stories that are not good. And I hung in there for a lot of the early Seventh were disjointed. Later Seventh was pretty damn cool, but that's no fault of the character. The actors were great. Colin Baker, awesome human being. Sylvester McCoy, fantastic actor. Okay? But they had some episodes in those series that weren't very good. I'm trying to think of a Ninth Doctor episode. There's only, 13 of them, because he only did the one series. The one where he goes to Satellite 5 the first time, and Simon Pegg's playing the frozen whatever narrator or whatever the editor-in-chief or producer, whatever his character's name was. I didn't like that particular episode, but did I write off the series? No. Fear Her. Boom, Fear Her, Love and Monsters. Did that end me watching David Tennant? No. The End of Time was awesome, but there was some jump the shark moments in it.
I was not a fan of Water of Mars.
Water of Mars was tough. Victory of the Daleks was a horrible episode. It's like Matt Smith getting angry for no good damn reason. What was that all about?
And in the new episode, Christopher Noth put on a terrible performance as the guy. Well, I liked a lot of it, but he gave one particular, what we call amazing acting moment when he reacted to the spider with a big ah!
Yeah.
That was just like
he was that was too ham-fisted of an attempt to make a commentary about Trump, I think.
Yes.
It was too ham-fisted, but
I love the Rosa Parks episodes.
Yeah,
I didn't particularly care for the spider episode.
Yeah. There's going to be some bumps in the road always, but that does not mean the show sucks.
Exactly.
It's lasted for 55 years for a reason. So I don't know. People just need to just take a breath, have an open mind, and enjoy the show. Just enjoy the ride. And it's going to keep going, whether we like it or not. So there you have it. Anything else we want to talk about?
I'm sure that sooner or later we'll have more to talk about.
Oh, I'm sure.
We only have 5 episodes currently. So.
I know, seriously. I'm looking forward to seeing more of what she's got.
Right now, she's only signed on for this season.
Oh, that would be a shame if she left.
Yeah, I think so.
Right now, she's only confirmed for this season.
I thought she would have a 3-year contract. No? She's only confirmed for one season only.
For one season. And that could be that they're renegotiating contracts or whatever, but I was just looking. She's only...
They probably wanted a way out in case it backfired in their faces.
I don't know.
So I hope she signs on for more. I really do. I would hate to see... I would hate to see this
like
become...
Christopher Eccleston.
I would hate to see this to be an experiment. And now back to a white guy. You know, now you're in. Let's go all in.
At any point, American?
I don't think so.
Want it.
No.
I honestly don't think that would ever happen because this is going to be this is a British icon. The BBC will always be behind it. You're going to see American companions. I think you might actually see other Time Lords pop up down the road, and one of them may be an American. But the Doctor being an American actor, I don't think will ever hahappen. I don't think so.
And I hope.
Not unless they do a really good British accent.
My first, I would see...
He just happens to run into Dr. Sam Beckett.
There you go. That would be amazing. The Doctor fixes Sam Beckett's leaping, sends him home. So you get the ultimate crossover of shows. Here are my predictions for future Doctors. You will see an African English instead of African American, I guess. A black Doctor. You're going to see a black Doctor. You're going to see an Asian Doctor. You're going to see a Harry Potter kid. One of the Harry Potter kids will come back to play the Doctor. Down the road. Tom Felton is up there. I'd say Rupert Grint. So he could finally be Ginger. I would even go so far as to predict
Emma Watson
as the Doctor.
Ooh.
Is that good or bad?
I will throw that down.
Yes.
I will throw that out there. Or this would be the Harry Potter fandom dream. Rupert Grint as the Doctor with Emma Watson coming back as Romana. Okay, so you
or
have
the
two,
opposite.
Or yeah, and then having Rupert Grint as Romana. That would be hilarious. Okay, that's a great tip. I love that. That's phenomenal.
Hint, hint, BBC.
Yeah, no, seriously. But no, you're going to see a Harry Potter kid. You're going to see a black actor. You're going to see an Asian actor. You're going to probably see an Eastern Indian.
I actually thought we were going to see a black male Doctor before we'd see a woman.
I didn't think so.
I thought so.
I didn't think that was going to happen. But yeah, you're going to see, with Chris Chibnall, you're going to see the door open up to anybody can be the part, which is great, as it should be.
I agree.
As it should be. I don't have a problem with that at all. So when I say that, it's not going to be, it's just the social justice warriors. I'm sorry, but Star Trek and Doctor Who are all about it. Even Star Wars, to its own degree, is about diversity in life.
It says solve problems and battle injustice across the universe.
Yeah. So if you're going to go ahead and say, it's a social justice warrior casting, then you don't understand science fiction. It's not that you don't understand Doctor Who. You don't understand science fiction. But that's another commentary for another day because we've been warming up for an assault on closed-mindedness for a while.
Yes, we have.
Yes, we have. We're gearing there. So you may see
We're
this
going
podcast
there.
head there in that direction. But anyway,
break. Okay.
That sounds good.
And because this is a bit of a stretch, but since we're talking about doctors and time, comedian Brian Regan, and why doctors are always late.
You ever go to a brand new doctor, and the moment he walks in, you're like, no. I was sitting there, I'm nervous enough. Doctor walks in, all the buttons on his lab coat were off by one. If he can't nail that task, I don't think I want his doctor paws on me. And I know this is going to sound like I'm making this up. This is the absolute truth. He was late. I don't get that. I don't get why it's okay for the doctor to be late. If I have a 2 o'clock appointment, I want the doctor looking at me at 2 o'clock. And the only way I think it would be okay for the doctor to be late is if at 5 of 2, you're in the waiting room and you notice from under the door that leads to the back rooms, a pool of blood. I think we might be delayed. Then it would be okay for him to be 5 minutes late. Clamp whatever's doing that and get me back there. I want to hear a clamp noise and him saying, my 2 o'clock is here.
So that was a conversation we'll be having again. I think this time next year, once the whole first season is done, Series 11, and we're getting ready for Series 12, there will be no Christmas special.
No.
This year I was told about that. And I understand the reasoning behind that. They've tapped that keg so many times that they don't want to, get into a gimmick kind of a thing. But they'll do something special for Christmas nonetheless. So you'll see Jodie again at Christmas time. And
hello.
Do we have any events coming up?
We do. We have
Awesome.
a wine and design night for Mighty Monkey Corporation, our fundraiser. So we're going to be painting a painting called Time and Space. If you can't get what it's about, wink, wink.
Is it blue in the shape of a rectangular box that might have a door on it?
It is. And it's very, very pretty.
It is very pretty.
So tickets are $35, and they're sold online at Wine and Design North Chi-Line. You can bring your own wine or beer to drink. We have glasses and corkscrews there for availability. Come 15 minutes early, and we'll have it all set up. You can bring a light snack, but we will be having some snacks there as well. It is 4165 Buffalo Road. We're in the Salvatore's Old Fashioned Pizzeria Plaza. We're like 3 doors down from there. So if you have any questions, you can find us on Facebook and ask questions. We always answer them.
Yes.
And the tickets are already on sale, so don't wait and miss out on
And the tickets
it.
are also already selling,
yes,
too. More
makes
to
a
the
great
point.
Christmas present. I know I bought mine already.
Yes, we've already sold quite a few, and there's a limit of only 35 tickets.
And if we get more than 35 people, that we will do a second.
We will do a second event. Yep.
Okay.
I have to get a ticket for that because I want to go to that.
Yes. Yes, you do.
I would love to say, yes, I'm going to be there. But it's January.
And you're traveling 2 hours. Yes.
Each way.
Well, January 26th is the weekend between the last NFL game before the Super Bowl weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
there
the
is
Pro
nothing.
Bowl weekend that nobody really watches.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Very cool. And that's our big event that we're working
And
on
it's
right now.
Saturday.
And it's a Saturday.
At 2:00 in the afternoon. So it's perfect time.
Snazzy. You can sleep in and go home early. It works out well.
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Sherry,
Chris.
if somebody would want to be part of the FC3 Monkey Business experience, how would they go about doing that?
Well, there's several ways they could go
Lovely.
about
It's
doing
almost like
that.
like we were planning that.
Asking is huge.
Yeah, asking is definitely
And
huge.
knowing
That's
is half
a great
the battle.
one. Knowing
Knowing is half the battle.
The more you know.
Are we going to not a book
Okay.
club G.I. Joe now? Is that what's happening?
No.
We need to.
No.
Yes.
The first way is to become a sponsor. Okay, we have sponsorship levels of all kind and are willing to custom create sponsorship packets. Please contact us at sponsorships@fc3roc.org.
Nice.
Next is by supporting us on Patreon. Please check us out at www.patreon.com/FC3ROC. All membership levels will include access to the patron-only blog, plus tons of great perks at all levels. Special shout-outs to our See No Evil tier patrons, James Irish, Jen Bevan, and our own Tanya Metras.
Hi.
Hey.
Want to help others find our show? Please leave us a review wherever you listen to us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Podbean, YouTube, and Stitcher. Is there a place where you find your podcasts and you can't find FC3 Monkey Business? Let us know, and I will do my best to fix that. And please, please, please follow us on Twitter at FC3MB Podcast. And if you do, please say hi. We love it when you say hi.
We really do. It's true. It's our validation moment of the day. Please say hi. Hello. Thank you for being so noticed by the popular people.
I get so excited when I'm like, a new follower.
So we've got an in memoriam section here. Legendary stuntwoman Kitty O'Neill passed away November 2nd of 2018 in South Dakota at the age of 72. Now, if you're not familiar with the name, O'Neill was best known for her work as Linda Carter's stunt double on Wonder Woman. She also worked hit movies such as The Blues Brothers and Smokey and the Bandit 2. The stuntwoman lost her hearing when she was 5 months old after she contracted measles and smallpox, and she learned to read lips. O'Neill performed a number of stunts, including the time she plunged headfirst from a hotel to an airbag near the pool. She made history when she set the land speed record for women drivers in 1976, and that she still holds that record to this day. O'Neill was so popular that she got her own Barbie doll in a television movie about her life, Silent Victory, the Kitty O'Neill story in 1979, in which she was portrayed by Stockard Channing. And in 1982, she retired from stunt work. So all hail Kitty. And rest in peace. That's an amazing person to think about.
And actually, I have one person to add. I just read this on a blog yesterday, and it's a name you probably don't know. His name is John Rogers. But he passed away. He was the president of Comic-Con International since 1986.
Oh, wow.
So he was the head of San Diego Comic-Con.
Wow.
And he passed away from brain cancer late last week. So John Rogers, rest in peace. Thank you for all the work. He was, let me see, today. You know, it doesn't say. I'll have to look. I'm sorry. I should have done more research.
That's all right.
That's all right.
I do not know.
Well, while you're working on that, I'm going to go down to the other end of the table and say, hey, Monk.
Hi.
My beloved little Alana.
Hello.
Question of the week time, baby.
Okay, let's do this.
What are you reading, listening to, playing, or watching that is making your geeky little heart happy right now?
The new episode of Lord Olympus came out.
Okay.
I was reading that this morning. It was just like, yay.
Now, what is that?
Lord Olympus, I've mentioned it before. It's the story of Persephone and Hades, retold in a more modern setting.
Okay. All right.
And I'm enjoying it immensely.
Well, good stuff. How long has this been going on for?
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
They update on Sundays.
It's Lower Olympus?
Lore.
Lore, Lore, Lore Olympus.
Yes.
Okay.
It's on Webtoons. This is the app that you can get it on. It's free.
Okay.
And the current episode has Cerberus in it, and it's just like, yay!
Puppy.
Puppies!
Hey, Tanya, fabulous over there.
Yes.
What are you reading, listening to, playing, or watching that is making your geeky little heart happy this week?
Oh, there's just too much. I don't even know where to start.
Well, pick something.
Pick something. And you know what? I'm just...
Are you blanking?
I am. I have not been feeling
it. Yeah, you haven't been feeling well lately.
This week, so, I mean, I've been reading a little bit on a book on my phone. I couldn't even tell you what the name of it was. It's just like one of those...
Are you going to be up for this afternoon?
That's why I'm not necessarily, like...
Spending energy right now.
Yes, because I'm... No, I mean, I've been watching some episodes of Buffy to get ready for our next podcast, and I've caught up on my NCIS, and I've been catching up on... Supernatural, catching up on DC Legends of Tomorrow. I have not started the new seasons of Flash, though. But one of my students at school is like, come on, catch up. And so I've just been doing lots of odds and ends type thing. And
yeah, I've
been exhausted this week, so I couldn't even tell you which way is up right now.
Huh. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you're feeling better soon.
Other than me just sitting here. And I'm still helping Billy find out how old John Rogers was.
Yeah, it's hard to find.
I can't find it either.
He looks relatively young.
We're going to say he's 56. Just because.
Okay. Works for me. It looks about right.
He was 56.
Maybe a little older.
Maybe he's older or maybe he's younger. But, all right. Anyway. Hey, Billy, how about you?
My new favorite TV show. My wife and I have watched 2.5 seasons in about a week.
Okay.
The first 2 seasons on Netflix, and now we've DVR'd all of this season or watched it on demand so far. The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
I have caught a couple of episodes
That show is the funniest show I've seen in years. Like, I don't laugh out loud at sitcoms very often, and this show makes me laugh out loud.
Ted Danson hasn't lost his stride, has he?
No, and Kristen Bell, the whole ensemble cast is fantastic.
Well, Kristen Bell she's not afraid of anything. She's a very fearless actress, I've noticed. She'll throw it out there.
Her commercials with her husband killed
Oh, God,
me.
the washing machine commercials?
Oh, when she was pregnant.
Yeah.
And, oh, my God.
Is she the one that will lie to her children if they have something to do that they're on a Saturday that their birthday's not that day, that it's whatever?
It sounds like something she'd say.
I've seen something like on Ellen or whatever. She's saying that she will lie to her children about the day of their birthday if they have something else going on that day.
Yeah. So I highly recommend The Good Place.
Okay. And...
Hello.
Same question, darling.
Well, other than watching Doctor Who recently, I've been a little overwhelmed reading business journals on fundraising and running a not-for-profit corporation.
Yeah, because you've been doing that lately, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've been lucky enough to take on, I've been taken on by several local organizations, and they're mentoring me on how to be more successful.
Cool.
teach me, mold me, use me.
I can't go there.
She's eating a cookie right now, so Tanya doesn't have a comment at the moment.
There's a lot of comment going on.
I'm open to suggestions on something that can take up my time to help me not just focus on this all the time.
I'm finishing up painting in my house, so I can't
Tap
conscript you there.
dancing. I suggest tap dancing.
Oh, yes. That sounds like fun. I should try that.
Maybe on Monday nights. There's this great class from 8:15 to 9.
Oh, no.
My feet still hurt.
My body hurts.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, I know.
There's a cookie in my mouth, so.
So anyway.
I get caught with that all the time
Yeah.
on the radio. So. Yeah.
Oh, Sherry.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. I've mentioned before that I'm a little bit of a Kickstarter junkie.
Yes. You have a bad habit.
I have a bad habit, but I have to say I don't spend a ton when I do it. I get a lot of PDFs and things for different things, and usually they're RPG related, but sometimes they're other things. And usually you pay for it and then you don't get it for months. So I'll just randomly get something in the mail, and I'll be like, "What the heck is this?" I'll have no idea what it is. So I got one this week, and it was a comic book that I had kickstarted, and it's wonderful. I love it so much. It's called Wash Day. Mm-hmm. And it was written by Jamila Rouser, and the artist is Robin Smith. Mm-hmm. And it's a slice of life comic.
Okay.
You know what that is? It's just like kind of like a day in the life type thing. And I'll just give you the write-up for it. Wash Day is a slice of life comic that pays tribute to the beauty and endurance of black women and their hair. The story follows Kamana, a 26-year-old woman living in the Bronx, as she cares for her long, thick hair. As Kim goes through her Sunday morning rituals, we see the highs and lows of her day, from fresh coffee, rising rent, girl talk, and cat calls.
Sounds interesting.
It's really good. And I meant to bring it so I could show you guys, and I walked out of the house without it. But I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely kickstart another comic by these two amazing ladies, because it's a very simple story, but the artwork is gorgeous, and it just tells, this is the way things are, and it just is really, really cool.
Nice.
I enjoyed reading it.
Yep, Lana read it after I did. So it was
Very
neat
cool.
coming home and one day and it was in the mail.
Uh-huh. Well, snazzy. And what's the name of that again?
It's called Wash Day.
Wash Day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Christopher, what are you reading, listening to, playing, or watching that's making your geeky little heart happy right now?
This week has been kind of taken up by painting the house. I'm almost done with all of the initial interior painting that I've wanted to do in the new place. My goal was to kind of unify the house. It was very disjointed. Each room had kind of its own
color scheme.
I would say personality, but it really wasn't. And so kind of bringing the whole place together. And so I'm almost done with that. And when I've been taking a break from that, I've been getting a chance to play World of Warcraft, my go-to addiction. And when I'm not doing that, I've been playing Minecraft, because
your other go-to.
My other go-to addiction. So
I know. I was actually very proud of myself yesterday. I leveled up 3 levels without you.
Yes, you did great.
Oh, he was painting the house. I was down because I couldn't talk, so I was downstairs
just
playing.
putting away.
Yep.
She's starting to understand the true nature of what it means to be a World of Warcraft.
I went off on my own.
You did. Very proud of you. Good job.
He logs on. He goes, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I don't know. Come and find me." He goes, "Okay." And
then
he's
I
like,
did,
"Oh, there you are."
But I'm almost done with the painting project, and then I'm trying to think of what I think I might be done with just home improvement projects. I just want to start hanging art on the walls. Okay. So anyway, that's that, and so I'm gonna probably try to find something new to do after that's done.
Christmas is coming. I think you have to decide where you're going to put your Christmas tree.
Oh, I know exactly where I'm going to put the Christmas tree. It's going to be in the foyer. I'm going to move the rocking chair and the little end table, move those out, put the Christmas tree, and I'm going to get a real tree this year.
I mean, yours isn't up yet?
No, because it's not December.
Oh, well.
I'm one of those people who believes Christmas should actually be in December. So.
You mean you're not going to put it up on the Friday after Thanksgiving like my mom
Christmas does
would
not
do?
exist until December.
Okay.
Christmas is because here's the thing. Thanksgiving is one of my top 2 favorite holidays.
You're cooking this year, aren't you?
I'm not actually.
No, your mom said I'm cooking?
No.
We have Alora that
We have Alora just walked in at the very end. Laura, you're just going to have to come back next week.
What? Okay, fine.
She even has her Buffy jacket on for next podcast topic.
So, no, because it was wound up, it was going to only be my mom and I. And she's like, well, I have this invitation to one of her friends. And so we're like, okay, we'll take you up on that. So I'm not going to be cooking Thanksgiving at my house just yet. Next year, because I'll have the kids next year. So I'll do something next year.
Okay.
Invite a couple of extra people, maybe. We'll see. Maybe that can be a Patreon level.
Thanksgiving at Chris's
Thanksgiving
house?
at Chris's house. It'll be Patreon level. I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk more about Thanksgiving later on.
Extra bonus.
Yes.
So.
All right, everybody. That's that. That's a show. That's a good one. And this has been Monkey Business, a product of the Mighty Monkey Corporation, purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic-Con, coming at you sometime in 2019. We're pretty sure it's going to be the end of April, but we'll get to that. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us wherever we go, and we will lead you to where the entertainment is. So this wraps it up for a whole week. We'll see you again on Wednesday. Have a great one. We love you. Take care.
Dum, dum.